Hello everyone. Well, here I am to show you progress on my skirt that I had started in a previous video, just two behind. I said I was going to make a skirt using a pattern. I didn't use the pattern. Basically, it was just two rectangles, so I thought, well, I'll just cut the rectangle instead of, cutting up the pattern and whatnot. So I did that, and it was just rectangles cut in on the fold, so it ended up being twice that. And I just want to show you my progress. It actually went really very quickly, more quickly than I imagined, and very, very nice. So it's basically, I guess, my own design, since I just cut up rectangles, and then I made a top like a waistband. So I cut that material too, and I sewed it together. And so the only thing was that when I was sewing these two pieces together, I didn't put the seams because I did this part together, then this part together, and you can see the seam is not lined up, which I should have done that first. I should have lined up. You see that? So there's the top seam, this one, and that. They're not lined up, but that's okay because it's going to be all crinkly. I put an elastic in there and you won't really see it much. Okay, so this is the anatomy of the skirt. I didn't close up the side because I was gonna do this by hand. I didn't know if I was gonna put in a zipper or buttons or whatnot. But on the so I can just show you how this was put together. Now this is not a tutorial, it's just me showing you what I did. So on the waistband, I sewed in this elastic at the top, so all the way along here, and then I used bias tape, which I don't know if this is how you use it, but this is how I used it. So I used the tape to sew the top part. So this is the waistband flipped over, sewn to the bottom, and then I sewed an elastic band along that, so I made this ruffled edge, and then I folded that over, then I put the tape, this bias tape, over the two edges of the top, the kind of the waistband and the bottom of the skirt, and I sewed that together so there's a nice clean finish. Okay, and then I made ties. This is how, and yes, this is just an old elastic band I had, so you can see here how it is. So this is the elastic that was sewn to the top, and then this was flipped over, and the bias tape, now I still have a little bit of that bias tape here, which is, if you know what a bias tape is, this is what it looks like. You can buy this ready pressed in the center. It's very well pressed so it doesn't come up, the folds don't come apart. And then you put one, well, this is how I did it anyway. Put one edge on the top on this part that has the elastic sewn in on this, and the bottom of that, and you sew it together so that this is the inside. On the outside, it doesn't show. All you see is this waistband sewn to the body of the skirt, right? So you don't see the stitching, this part, right? This is it's just a nice finishing touch. I didn't have to do it like that, but wanted to. So, and then it doesn't have any rough edges too. So that's that part. And then I made, so this is the bias. So I have to finish this all up by hand. Gotta clean it up. I like to do hand stitching. And then I made a long tie. Again, this is not perfect, but what it was just a long, okay, so long strips. Okay, so for the tie, it's just long strips of material sewn together, and then just fold it over And at one point I was doing the straight stitch, then I switched to the zigzag stitch. I don't know if you can see that. Just to make it go, because it was starting to, I wasn't folding it right, just so it wouldn't come apart. So I think this is too long anyway, so I'm just going to see how long I want it to go. And then I strung the tie through the center of this. See, there's a hole here now, running all the way through the waistband here. So I strung it all the way along there, coming out the other end. Okay, so now these are the ends that I'll use to just cinch the skirt up at the top and tie it. So this is actually very adjustable. So as you gain, lose weight, whatever, you just adjust it to your size. Okay, so now all I have to do is iron this really well and hem the bottom. I'm going to do this by hand too, because I like to hand stitch. So what I'm going to do is, for the hem, I have to fold it over a couple of times, like this and like that maybe. Let's see. And I'm gonna press it really well so that it's straight all the way across, because I'm notorious for not keeping my hems or my edges straight, as you can see from the tie. So I'm gonna have to press this really well and keep it in place, pin it up, and then I'm gonna hand sew it. And that's really all that's left, is just the hem. And I'm really surprised at how quickly it came together. I've only been spending like maybe a few minutes here and there every day since I started, because once I got going, it's just, I didn't want to stop. That's the only thing, is that these two seams don't line up. I'll know that for next time, to pay attention to that. Okay, and so this is my little sewing space. I got my sewing machine out finally, and then I have these 2 cups that I put stuff in. It says ooh la la, La Senza. I think it's La Senza. Yep. Just to put a little, oh yeah, so this is what the bias tape looks like. This is just a leftover. So you can see, it's just fold it over and you buy it like that. And I just happen to have some, I never knew what to use this for, and it just came in handy. So it just opens up like that. So what you do is you sew this end onto something and that end onto something else, and then you sew it together so it makes a nice clean finish. I think, like I said, this is not a tutorial. It's just me using materials that I had lying around, that I pick up here and there, garage sales, thrift stores, whatever, and I want to make some use of it. And that's it. That's what I'm using it for. If that's not what it's meant to be used for, too bad. All right, and so this is my wall of honor. As you can see, these are just some of the latest postcards, thank you notes I've been receiving in the last little while. I'm very thankful for everything. There's a little Easter card from my mom. Thank you notes from Antoinette, from Nicole, Lisa, Ladybird, Rhonda, Eucalan. This is the stuff I use to wash, rinse my handmade stuff and then block it. This was the very first bougie yarn I ever got. It was from Underground Crafter. She was running a contest and I won that, and it was the most beautiful yarn ever. This is from Dana Two Ponies. This was the handmade candy I got from, I think it was Alicia. She has her Etsy shop. Yeah, Alicia. And a few other thank you notes from Miss E, Linda Simpson. This is a beautiful handmade card from my Outlander group. We do a Christmas card exchange, and I just love this. Lady made this from Poland. And this is another little saying that I love. This is perhaps all the dragons in our lives are princesses who are only waiting to see us act just once with beauty and courage. Perhaps everything that frightens us is, in its deepest essence, something helpless that wants our love. Rainer Maria Rilke. Sorry, it was easier to read without reading it through through the camera lens. But anyway, yep, so I'm hoping to get a few more to put in there. But for now, this is it. Thank you all for watching, and maybe soon I'll give you a tour of the whole room. Not quite there yet. Thank you. Bye.